every year I have a bee come in and lay in these holes. Every year they'll come in, you know, and I'll see the evidence when they emerge. There'll be this filler stuff, whatever that is they put in there, you know, will be, you know, all over the steps and all over the surfaces here. So you know, this year I said, well, I need to maybe build a bee box and, you know, give them a place to go. Maybe they'll leave my stuff alone. I'll just plug those holes, I guess. It's no big deal. It really doesn't bother me. But so I was sitting here yesterday afternoon in my chair watching plants grow, and I thought, it just, you know, the thought came back in my head, I need to build that bee box. And as if on cue, this big bee comes right in my face and just sits there looking at me. I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went to Lowe's, and my first thought, you know, was I'll get some cane. I'll get because I don't know where I could just go get some cane. I mean, I do know, but I don't have it would be a big deal to launch a boat, go miles up the river, go cut some cane. It'd be a big deal. So I went to the garden supply area of Lowe's and picked up these little 6-foot whips for 30 cents a piece. But I was only able to use about a foot of those because of the diameter. And I cut, I don't know, these are about 6 inches long. And they're only 6 inches long because that's what I need to go in this box and be out of the weather. Okay. I got some, let's see, what is this? PVC. Yeah, half inch CPVC, and I had some half-inch PVC pipe. Those are different diameters. I think this one's like 8 millimeters inside, and that's just because that's what I drilled it out. This is actually, these are solid like this. It's not segmented like the cane I remember as a kid. This stuff is full and you drill that out. I think this one is 12 or 13 millimeters and this one's about 16 millimeters, and that'll put different types of bees, you know, in the mix. So this hole that this particular bee likes to use is right about 15 millimeters. So it'll probably pick that bigger, you know, larger PVC pipe, half-inch PVC pipe. But I needed a box, and I really didn't feel like building a box, so I repurposed the box that I had used for relocating those birds. It had a large rectangular hole in it. I just cut the bottom out and put the front on the bottom to give me a place to rest these tubes, and I shimmed the back of the floor so that it's a slight, very slight angle downward. Alright, so I'm just going to cut a bunch of these tubes in different sizes and mix them all up like that, you know, just fill it up with different stuff, and probably fasten them in there temporarily and mount it somewhere, possibly back on the tree. I'm really not sure yet, but I'm not going to bore you with the details here. I'm going to sand. I've got the box painted with 3 different colors, and I'm going to hit it with a sander real quick to give it a similar appearance to my chair. And I meant to buy some clear coat this morning and just totally forgot about it. If I don't write it down somewhere, I don't remember anything. But this one's got a bunch of different colors in it, and I sanded those down. But This will be similar. It's going up in the tree probably anyway. So now you don't need a powered saw to cut these tubes. I mean, you can completely get away with whatever kind of saw you've got. A hacksaw works great. It leaves a nice clean edge. If you're going to use a table saw, you don't want to adjust your fence to the length you want it cut. You want to put a block in there like this, away from the blade. That block, that sets your length of cut. So when you draw your tubing in to be cut, it's not wedged up against the fence. So you can cut several of these without any danger. 6 or so will just roll and pile up in here, and if it were wedged up against that fence, the odds are the blade's going to catch it and kick it back. So as long as you're on the right side of this cut and you have a little block like that, a little stop block, that's going to save you from having that little problem. So you safety Sallies, go ahead and chime in and see where I went wrong there. I was sitting down in this chair a while ago waiting for some sealant to dry on the bee box, and a hummingbird comes up, goes to one of the feeders, and then goes down to that lantana and checks out a couple of those flowers, then comes over here. I'm sitting in that chair. It comes over here to the flowers that were blooming at the time on that fern right there, and then it flies over right in front of me and then flies off. And I said, well, I guess it's trying to tell me that the food in the feeders isn't any good, so I dumped it out and replaced it. So I got the bee box completed. There is 60 feet, over 60 feet of material, tubes in that box right there. And I know it doesn't look like it. That's a lot of pipe. I bought 6 10-foot sections of 1/2-inch CPVC. I had about 5 feet of 1/2-inch PVC, and the bamboo, probably, I don't know, there may be 10 feet of bamboo there. But there's around 125 separate cells there in that box. I went ahead and hung up the other bird houses up there. I had some spare leftover CPVC, and you'll look at that birdhouse that's on the limb right there. It has what looks like maybe some firewood stacked. That's actually the leftover CPVC, so the bees can go up there and stay too. Got another bird nest going in. It's right behind, let's see, right there. They just started it today. When I came back from the hardware store, I noticed a piece of fishing line hanging from the tree. The fishing line had a rock tied to it, and I thought, man, this is really weird. I mean, I was just over here and there wasn't anything there, so I pulled the fishing line down, and then later when I was hanging all this stuff on that limb, I noticed there was a bird's nest there. So I'll let you know when something moves in. It probably stinks right now. I had to clear coat everything and glue it all in so it didn't fall out, and I really don't think it'll be very long before something finds that and moves in, but we'll see. I appreciate y'all watching.